you can quite clearly see, I got a bit of a bed head. And if you're watching this, this is recorded the morning before today. This is my well, this is it. Do I want to drive basic daily driving, or do I want to drive 60 miles north of me or 60 miles south of me? Or do say I want to say I live in the parish of Natchitoches, but I live in the woods near it. Say, what if I wanted to go to Shreveport or go to Alexandria or Roebeling or Manning? Or do I want to do basic daily driving in the local area? You know what I'm saying? Or what if I wanted to go to West Monroe for any reason? To go give you something to go show a little farther. If these are the questions, the answer is yes, but on one condition. If I have the ability to install the EFI in a way that I can make the cylinder, I can take the cylinder head and intake manifold that the EFI conversion is installed onto and replace it with a cylinder head that has a carburetor of my own adjustments that can be bolted onto that back. It can be bolted onto that intake. It can be bolted on, so I can do that and get back going as soon as possible. So there you have that. That's my answer for you. If I want to do those kinds of driving and long distance driving, what if I wanted to do that? Well, no, I'll stick to the carburetor because I can at least half-ass computerize it with basic electronics at a fraction of the complexity and a fraction of the headache for repairs. And if I wanted to anyway, and I can make it do what I want in a way that if it gets messed up somehow, I can take the carburetor out, bypass the halfway computerization, and bolt the manual or default carburetor onto the intake after getting it out of my trunk. Bolt it back in and hook all the stuff I need and get back running as necessary, as soon as possible, and until I get back to my house, or say if I got a shop, say if I had a mechanic shop like I used to in my backyard. Before my dad dropped and most all my tools got walked off, and I know some of the individuals who did it. Someone steals your livelihood, that's to me a gun target. My opinion. It's not an advocacy, folks, but it is. I think we live in a pretty toxic post-societal setting where we're advocating combating aggression with full-out physical violence is not legally allowed is pretty depressing. It's not force. See, it's the unsolicited initiation of force against someone that's not justified, aka aggression. But anyways, and then once I got back, like I said, once I got back home, or then I either have it replaced, have it fixed, or I can fix it myself, replace certain things myself, or whatever. Once I got back, the original carburetor that the half-ass computerized with electronics and stuff, and did my own adjustments to. I can also do a lot of the fuel delivery enhancement, mileage improvement, power boosting, and emissions dropping mods on a carbureted vehicle mostly the same ways I could do with the EFI, but less complicated. At worst, I'll need a couple of socket sets, some basic electronic tool sets, some spare pennies, spare dimes, some screwdrivers, electrical tape, duct tape, and a carburetor rebuilding kit or two, at worst. But at least I can get it done myself. At worst, the basic stuff for the ECU modded carbs, I can store that shit conveniently in the trunk, for fuck's sakes. For the most part. And that, it can, The mods I would do in question for, are not all entirely for discussion in this video. I've made some old videos talking about my top engine mods and top carb mods, but I'll do videos specifically for fuel injected and for carbureted eventually. Don't worry. I'll do a video for diesels too. Don't worry. But basically, you got my views on the subject and my justifications through those top car mods I did back in the day. On a few side notes, with the right to repair vehicle, tractor hacking and untapped potential for 3D printing of parts, including 3D printer machining and sintering and all that, modernization of sintering, and things like that. We could direct that towards modernizing older car models and makes, but not over computerize them in the way that mechanics cannot work on them, but will instill newer generations of machines, newer generations of mechanics and engineers able to machine, fabricate, and repair retrotech and rebuild retrotech engines. Plus, with plasma ignition and certain other technologies able to make more power per pop in a carbureted engine, for example, I am certain we can give the emission standards the middle finger and pass them with flying colors and go beyond. Look at what Progression Ignition's been doing with modernizing old school distributors. Right now, to prove my case, you can adjust it with a fucking laptop. Or a fucking silly phone. Right? It's a silly phone for sure, possibly a laptop. And that's while driving for driving on-demand adjustments. Thunderhead 289 showed that. I'll link that for you as well. We got the tech and means. We just need to advocate directing them towards these general directions I'm suggesting going towards. But then again, I'd rather be stoic about things like this and just point out the opportunities that these things could bring for the better, modernized retrotech. I may be paddling a form of mechanics retrofuturism, a new form of retrofuturism similar to diesel punk, but carb punk or gas punk at that point, carburetor punk. But it's reasonable. It's a reasonable one we could do right now, and it could be done for cleaner air, being a little more profitably self-sufficient, while making an open market opportunity for this kind of shit to happen for the better. And then you have a lot of the mods I would do for carbureted vehicles, which I'll have to do a separate video of. But you see the general direction of what I'm getting at. Please check out these YouTube videos. Please do. I want to see what your I want to see what your comments are. I want to see what your takes on in your replies. Agree or disagree. I want to see what you got to say. Thank you all. Love you very much. I'll see you around. Good evening. Just just adding this last piece before at the end of this little clip, this clip to the end of the video. What I said about tool thievery and stuff like that, I'm not going to advocate violence. I'm not going to glow post on myself. I'm not a fucking idiot. But if someone, whether flesh and blood, kin or not, has the gall to steal your livelihood means or whatnot, it's not much really, especially nowadays the way fucky shit is. That's not much different than killing someone. Potentially. That potentiality. And then it's also stealing, so it's aggression automatically. Depending on the situation, it could justify certain returning a certain amount of force necessary, but whether you act on it like in that manner is not the point. The point is you would be to say you justify, even saying that you're justified in something like that can get you in trouble these days because how toxic shit is. And to me, the fact that people are the legalese incentivized against saying shit like that, to me, glows. That glows like Vosh, okay? That glows in the dark like Vosh, the commie. So, the commie fed posting prick. So I'm not fucking sorry I said that either. He glows in the dark like Green Star at night. But, speaking of which, Chaser, myself, a friend of mine who's also subscribed to me by the name of JB, and a few others, including Night Watchman, co-created a meme, a beautiful one. It's based off of that little remark I made. I think it was either him or Glenn Beck or somebody. I forgot who it was. I think it was Vosh, where I said he glowed like a green star at night. We co-created a meme. It's called Life Under the Green Sun. Thank you, everyone, for listening to my little piece. Again, this is my opinion piece and my reasons behind it. I will never advocate for something like that publicly. I might opine on it, but I'll never advocate it because I'm not stupid. I'll damn sure never do that. Again, I'm not glowing on myself. Shit glows and sucks bad enough as it is. I don't need to add. I'm not a fucking masochist, alright? Fuck, if I want to be a masochist, I'll get some Amazonian broad in a BDSM gear and have myself tied up nude in a ball and chain by my ankles and wrists, okay? Fucking criminy. Anyways, I'll see you later. Thank you for watching the video.